The first time the sky on Lyrene 6 flickered, I assumed the weather systems were having one of their existential crises again, the kind where they questioned whether they truly wanted to be a sky or just a decorative screensaver. I was on my lunch break, chewing something allegedly protein-based, when she appeared slim, long-eared, and walking with the calm confidence of someone who knew gravity would never dare betray her. Her eyes shimmered in a way no human iris could manage, like tiny galaxies practicing synchronized swimming. I blurted the first thing my brain produced, that her eyes were beautiful. She stopped, smiled. That smile was either a good sign or a warning that I just proposed alien marriage by accident. Before I could launch into an apology, she tilted her head, her long ears catching the light like polished silver. "I have something even prettier," she said, as if this were the most casual sentence in the universe. "Want to see it?" Now, on Earth, this might mean she'd show me a flower, a painting, or possibly a well-trained house cat. Here, on a temperamental moon filled with regulations, bioluminescent moss, and drones that monitored emotional risk levels, it could mean anything from a friendly magic trick to a catastrophic detonation. I nodded anyway. Curiosity has always been my most reliable self-destructive impulse. She stepped closer, and the ground beneath us hummed. A vibration that usually meant an energy conduit was overstimulated or someone nearby had consumed too much caffeinated algae. Her eyes brightened, and suddenly the air around her rippled, light bending as if embarrassed by how ordinary it looked compared to her. A spark formed above her palm, then unfolded like a flower made of starlight. The floating shape bobbed in the air, curious, alive in a way that made my heartbeat reconsider its schedule. Then it poked my forehead, gently, as if greeting a confused pet. I tried to look dignified. "Is it supposed to do that?" "Yes," she said. "It likes you, or it thinks you're edible. Hard to tell sometimes." Another shape emerged, this one spiraling in lazy loops, sketching glowing trails that faded like soft breath on glass. I laughed despite myself, tension dissolving. The drone overhead beeped, registering my emotional spike, no doubt preparing to send me a pamphlet on healthy interactions with non-human entities. She watched me, amused, the starlight reflecting off her long ears. "Humans," she murmured, "always surprised when the universe has more beauty than they expected." I wanted to answer something clever, but all I managed was a stunned grin as the luminous shapes drifted around us, whispering promises of wonders far beyond my small, predictable life on this flickering moon. The luminous shapes drifted around us as if they owned the place, weaving through the thin Lyrene 6 air with the carefree confidence of pets that never needed feeding. One of them circled my head like a curious moon, then bumped gently into my ear as if testing structural integrity. I swatted at it on reflex, which only made it giggle, an actual giggle like a tiny bell with attitude. I wasn't sure whether to laugh or schedule a medical scan. She watched all this with a grin that suggested she found humans endlessly entertaining. Her long ears twitched, catching glimmers of the floating lights. "You're doing well," she said. "Most humans try to run when the shapes start interacting." "I considered it," I admitted. "But I'd only get about 20 meters before the gravity regulators remembered they hate me." She let out a soft laugh, and the shapes brightened in response, as if her amusement powered them. The largest one stretched outward, flattening into a kind of glowing manta ray that fluttered through the air. It drifted toward me and settled briefly on my shoulder, humming like a friendly machine. I braced myself for pain, transformation, or spontaneous enlightenment, but it simply rested there, warm and feather-light. "What are they, exactly?" I asked. "Energy manifestations shaped by consciousness." "My consciousness." She tapped her temple lightly. "They're pieces of me. Thoughts made visible." "That sounds mildly terrifying." "Only mildly?" Trying to be polite. She stepped closer, her presence warm like sunglow even in the cool lunar breeze. The shapes hovered attentively, orbiting her the way satellites cling to a beloved planet. "We project what we feel," she said. "But humans hide what they feel. That's why your species is so noisy. Emotion with nowhere to go shakes the air." Great, I muttered. We're emotionally constipated space apes. Essentially, her eyes sparkled, but charming ones. One of the shapes drifted between us, expanding until it was large enough to cast soft shadows across the ground. Threads of golden light stretched outward, forming intricate loops and branching patterns like a glowing, three-dimensional map of something I couldn't decipher. What does that one mean? I asked. She studied it for a long moment. Curiosity and possibility. Possibility. The word hummed through me like a power conduit warming up. Before I could respond, the ground pulsed under my feet, a faint tremor that made the lights shiver. The drone overhead sputtered in alarm and shot upward, clearly deciding it wanted no part of whatever was happening. She frowned slightly. The moon's energy fields are shifting again. Is that bad? It depends, she said, her long ears angling forward, on whether we're ready to see the deeper shapes. The tremor deepened, spreading beneath us like a giant stretching after a long nap, and the luminous shapes fluttered nervously. Even the manta ray one abandoned my shoulder, which I took personally. She closed her eyes, long ears angling upward as if listening to a distant melody only her species could hear. The fields are unstable, she murmured. If they collapse, every system on Lyrene 6 will throw a dramatic tantrum. Can we stop it? I asked. Or at least calm it down with a soothing playlist? She smiled faintly. We can stabilize it, but I'll need to project more energy than usual. And I need you to anchor me. I blinked. Anchor you? I barely anchored my breakfast. You grounded me earlier without realizing it, she said. Your presence quiets the noise. Human minds are chaotic, but yours is pleasantly odd. I'll try not to take that as an insult. She extended her hand. When I took it, a warmth surged through us both. The shapes gathered around, forming a sphere of shimmering threads. They pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, then gradually synced with mine. The ground trembled again, harder this time, and the sky flickered from blue to violet like someone flipping through cosmic color palettes. She inhaled deeply and let the light pour from her, far brighter than before. Streaks of gold, silver, and soft red weaving outward like living circuitry. The shapes expanded, merging into a single vast formation that hovered above us, pulsing with layered patterns that made every hair on my body stand like it had been given strict military orders. My knees shook, but I held her hand tighter. Still with you, I muttered. Good, she whispered, voice strained but steady. Now breathe, and think. Calm thoughts. Calm thoughts. On a moon having a metaphysical meltdown, with an alien woman projecting half her soul into the sky. Perfectly normal. I pictured warm tea, comfortable socks, and a universe where gravity didn't bully me daily. Slowly, the massive light structure resonated, sending a wave through the ground that eased the trembling. The sky steadied, the flickering slowed, then vanished. Lyrene 6 exhaled like a creature soothed back to sleep. The light faded, the shapes drifting down like tired fireflies returning home. She swayed, exhausted, and I caught her before she fell. Her long ears brushed my cheek, warm and soft. You did well, she said. Humans may hide their emotions, but you offered yours freely. I guess I learned something, I murmured. Maybe we're not meant to keep everything locked inside. Her smile was gentle, luminous even without the shapes. Exactly. As the last of the trembling faded, we stood together in the settling glow of the restored moon. I felt different. Steady, open, unafraid of what waited beyond my own guarded thoughts. She squeezed my hand. So, she said lightly, still think my eyes are the prettiest thing about me? I laughed. They're a close second. And under the calm, restored sky of Lyrene 6, she let the smallest, warmest shape appear. Just a single glimmering star resting between us, not to dazzle, not to amaze, but simply to stay.